After Arsenal beat Real Madrid over 2 legs 5-1 and here at the Bernabéu 2-1, my head was absolutely gone. It was gone. I had arguments with Madrid fans all over. And this wasn't just during the fan camps, this was after the fan camps also, talking to some Madrid fans around the area and just disagree with them on so many points. And one of them being Carlo Ancelotti. Actually, one of them was actually quite dignified and said that maybe Carlo Ancelotti is not solely to blame, but also Toni Kroos not being in the squad, obviously one of the main key components to this team, not being here with Carvajal, has left the team quite left out to dry. Let's just put it that way. But Ancelotti, overall, this season has not been good enough in terms of just sending a message to Perez. Just go and get someone to replace Kroos. Go and get someone to replace Carvajal just in time for the Champions League when it's heating up. But nothing was done. Obviously, Real Madrid, not notorious for any winter transfers because we love to see big business in the summer. But this is the breaking news today. Carlo Ancelotti is set to leave Real Madrid management after the Copa del Rey final on the 26th of April. Now, is this a good thing if it does take place? Well, yes, but I would have liked to seen it done before the Copa del Rey final, because I don't think tactically Ancelotti has enough about him and with this team in cooperation to beat this very good Barcelona side this year. Yes, they did lose against Dortmund, and yes, they have kind of fallen off the pace a little bit. But when it comes to El Clasico this season, we've seen it twice before and we'll probably see it a third time, that Barcelona will turn up and will destroy us. So, likely replacements, I have none at the top of my head at the moment. So, it looks like Carlo Ancelotti is set to leave after the Copa del Rey final. If it is true, then it is good news. But let me say something about Carlo Ancelotti for a second, because a lot of fans online have been slating my opinions on Carlo Ancelotti. Rightly so. If you are a big believer in Carlo Ancelotti and you see him taking this team forward, then that is your opinion and you can voice it however you want to. Now, my opinion on Carlo Ancelotti is we need to respect him as a manager, bow out gracefully as a manager. I would love to see probably one of the greatest Real Madrid managers, if not the greatest Real Madrid manager of all time, bow out with another trophy under his belt this year, because he has literally served Real Madrid as a great manager. Look, the resurgence of Real Madrid after many years of shambolic football and football that was not getting the end result. No Champions League. Mourinho couldn't do it. Pellegrini couldn't do it. And then when Ancelotti came in, then it just gave us a little booster. And Ancelotti to win 3 Champions Leagues is a hell of an achievement, honestly. And I wanted to say this verbally to each and every one of you. If you are a believer in Ancelotti, if you're not a believer in Ancelotti, if you don't really like him and his tactics, so be it. But you have to put a huge amount of respect on Ancelotti's name. Yes, I've been outside this stadium and criticizing him endlessly, but for good reason. The reason being is that maybe I don't see him taking this team forward. And do you know what? When you're going to the stadium and you're outside and you're with the crowd and you see every single fan just heads down, just nothing about them, then Ancelotti is a main factor of that. And for me, voicing my opinion, sometimes I like to voice it angrily and shout it out at the top of my lungs, like I said yesterday and was showing it yesterday on the match reaction. And sometimes I'm just a bit more calm and a bit more level-headed. Today is one of those days. So if Ancelotti were to leave Real Madrid after the Copa del Rey, and if he gets that Copa del Rey final and gets one up on Barcelona, then do you know what? credit to him and credit to the team. And it looks like, I don't know if Mbappe is going to be out for the Copa del Rey final. He took a massive knock yesterday in the Arsenal match. So this is going to be a very crucial injury if he is missing that Copa del Rey final. Very crucial, because then we'll most likely have to play Endrick up front, or most likely play with a 2 up front with Vini and Rodrigo and maybe Bellingham behind, like we saw last year. So it's going to be a difficult match. It's going to be a very difficult match. And sometimes these announcements of managers leaving, if it is the case, and if the media is being fed with this kind of narrative, then sometimes it can go well and sometimes it can go poorly. Sometimes it can go poorly. So, do you know what? We'll just need to wait and see. And do you know what? A lot of talk in the news about Klopp making a potential return to management. If Klopp were to be our manager, this team will cook on so many levels. I can just see Gengen pressing all over the pitch, but he will need to have certain players that are energetic, like, for example, Valverde in that midfield. That kind of player that can run. Camavinga, who can run. That's why maybe if we do get a manager who is suited more as a tactician towards high pressing, then we need to have runners in the midfield. Camavinga, players like Valverde, players like Bellingham, even though Bellingham actually stunk it out completely against Arsenal. And you know what? A lot of matches of recent. So we just need to look at it wisely. If Ancelotti was to leave, who are we going to replace? I don't want to get anybody, because if that's the case, then I would rather, and I have to say this, see Ancelotti stay. Because if we're just going to get anybody, then that's going to be even more problematic. And we'll see Real Madrid just go on a downward spiral, even more than we are at the moment. So there are ups to Ancelotti leaving, and there are also downs, because you have to see Real Madrid and how Perez actually sees it. Who will we select as a manager to take us to the next level? Who are we going to select as a manager to take us to compete with Barcelona? That is the question. And I don't know. It may be the case that we'll just get anybody, or it may be the case that we'll just get a world-class manager, because Klopp definitely would be that guy. I would definitely see Klopp as the kind of guy that can take Real Madrid forward. I think the way that Liverpool played throughout the years under Klopp, especially the front three of Mane, Firmino and Salah, I could definitely see that with Real Madrid under Vini, Rodrigo and Mbappe. And if Vini were to leave, then who knows what we would do then. But maybe I would like to see those front three under a different manager, if you get my drift. I think there could be potential there with those three, especially if they're pinned wide, Vini and Rodrigo, and they just leave Mbappe occupying the space with Bellingham just behind. Maybe. Or we can get another creative midfielder. Who knows? There is endless possibilities for Real Madrid. At the moment, we are competing for Copa del Rey. I think LaLiga is lost. I have to say it. I think LaLiga is lost, because we're going to face Barcelona in Barcelona. I don't think that's going to be one, guys, I have to say. And then we'll face Bilbao also this weekend. So it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a very tough one. But guys, take care. Have a great weekend. Enjoy, obviously, the Europa League matches that are being played as of recent, or now, or in the future, whenever you're watching this. And we'll see you next time on another video. It's time to end the stream. A la Madrid y nada más. And don't forget, guys, what I'm going to be doing from now on is uploading footage to TikTok. So I'm going to be doing behind the scenes. I'm going to be doing a lot of work behind the scenes also, just to prop up my social media accounts, because I've seen obviously the videos go viral, and thanks to everybody for commenting down below. And yes, I am Spanish, guys. I am Spanish. I do have my passport on me. So guys, remember, I am a Spaniard, I live in Madrid, and my mum is Spanish also. So guys, take care. A la Madrid y nada más, and we'll see you next time. Take care.